Morning, everyone. Welcome to our October 3rd board meeting. Join us with the pledge. Councilwoman No.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilwoman Noack.
Here.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Here.
Councilman Lohman will not be attending. He tested positive for COVID. He's doing okay, but he's following proper protocols. We will start this afternoon. Deputy Clerk, would you present the 2024 tentative budget to the council members?
Thank you.
We're getting weak.
Thank you very much. This afternoon, first up, we have one site plan today. Mr. Hans.
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the Town Board. I'm Peter Hans, Planning Director. We have one site plan application for the Board to consider this afternoon, acting as the Board of Site Plan Review. It's called Cox Industries LLC. This is on the south side of Old Northport Road, just west of Sunken Meadow Parkway. It's a 23.5-acre site. This proposal is for the removal of all existing structures, regrading of the site, a new entrance driveway, and landscaping only. We're recommending approval subject to 7 conditions. First, that they obtain applicable building permits from the building department. The second condition, however, is that prior to the issuance of the building permit, the applicant must obtain and submit to the town a copy of the mined land reclamation permit and solid waste management grade adjustment permit from New York State DEC. So they need to do that still. The other conditions, number 4 was the applicant shall install a fence of orange mesh construction around all areas to be preserved. The 5th, that they obtain a highway work permit from the town highway department for improvements along Old Northport Road. The 6th, that the site plan approval is to facilitate regrading of the site only. No use of the site for any purpose shall be permitted without further approval from the Board of Site Plan Review. That's the same condition that we did for the Jiswali property, just so that they could regrade it only, but we're not endorsing any particular use. We also did that with the Kings Park Associates sites years ago. And the last condition is the stormwater pollution prevention plan prepared by Nelson and Pope and approved by the engineering department on August 15th, 2023, shall be maintained on site for the duration of the construction. On the screen is the aerial that shows the 23.5-acre site. To the south is a LIPA right-of-way, and then the Candy section of Comac. To the east is the Parkway, and then further is the MSF. To the west, you have some other industrial properties, and as well as to the north. This is the current conditions of the site. Essentially, you can see there's varying grades. There's some structures at the bottom of the pit. This was the former Schleider property used for concrete manufacture. All the structures at the bottom of the pit would be removed, and basically the bottom portion of the pit would be brought up approximately 30 feet. Whereas there's other areas of the site that are being lowered about 25 to 30 feet. Even with the excavation and the fill, they still need to bring in approximately 193,000 cubic yards of fill. This is a regrading plan. This is essentially a plan that shows where is to be excavated and where is to be filled. The purple and blue are the areas that need to be filled, whereas the orange and yellow are areas that are going to be excavated and removed of fill, as well as a cross profile. That concludes our presentation, unless the board has any questions.
Questions by the board?
Yeah, from the supervisor. Who's gonna monitor the 192,000 yards of fill that we don't get bad fill?
That would have to be DEC, same as the Jiswali property. Our engineering
They actually
department.
check each load of fill to make sure it's not stuff that's contaminated all Long Island that's been brought in by accident or on purpose accident?
Yeah,
accident on purpose.
Yeah. I think we need to get a copy of those conditions to make
Okay.
sure that each load is tested.
I understand.
And
Yeah,
I think that might be one
similar.
of our conditions we want to add. Each
Yeah.
load of fill is tested and sent to a lab.
Yeah, I believe that would be part of the DEC permits.
But it could be part of ours also.
It could be, sure.
Yeah, I think it should be a condition that we test all the soil that comes in there, or work in conjunction with the DEC.
Okay. Also, and they have agreed, the applicant has agreed to all the conditions, including their permits from reclamation from DEC, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, that's still a work in progress with DEC. He does
Right.
not have that permit.
but our applicant, their application depends on them producing.
Yes, they need in order to obtain a building permit, they need that DEC permit.
Correct. Any other
So,
questions?
No.
What do they do?
right now, there's nothing going on the property.
What is their business?
Cox Industries.
They own that property. They're bringing it up to grade for development.
All right, I didn't realize that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they propose to us, is to regrade the property in order to make it developable. With a grade like this, they're saying that, you know, it's not developable for industrial warehouse space or any other type of development. It's erratic, the grading of the property, and it's difficult to do. So essentially, they're trying to make it a clean, level slate.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
No, thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Hans.
Sure.
That site plan will be voted on at the end of the agenda. Okay, we'll move to the agenda. Deputy Clerk.
Authorize the town clerk to advertise for 2 public hearings, both to be held at Town Hall on October 19th at 7 PM. The first is to consider the 2024 preliminary budget, and the second is to consider proposed local law 15-2023, amendments to Chapter 322 of the Town Code entitled zoning. Councilman Lohman? Oh, sorry. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yeah.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
On the consent agenda, controller, numbers 1 to 10, resolutions 1 and 2, and the minutes of September 21st. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to issue a sequent negative declaration determination of non-significance in the matter of the application for site plan approval by Cox Industries for reasons stated in a memorandum from the Environmental Protection Director. Councilman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
The town board to award the following bids and authorize the purchase of associated goods or services. Bid 2370, the annual contract for planting of street trees to Northport Tree Company. 2369, hazardous household waste program to Radiac Research Corp. And 2372 for refuge removal to Winter Brothers, hauling of Long Island, and National Waste Services. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Town Board to approve the following. Adoption of Local Law 14-2023, which is the readoption and revision of Town Code Part 1. A 1-month rental of a hydraulic excavator at a cost of $6,100 a month. Extension of bid 22-100, the annual supply bid for precast concrete drainage items with Pelkowski Precast Corporation. The sole source purchase of a synthetic turf grooming broom from Asphalt Care Equipment. The purchase of 2 radio repeaters with associated software and services from Comtech Two-Way Communications. Change orders number 1 through 10 to the agreement with Loduca Associates for renovation to the Bay Constable Building. And the last is an extension of agreement for a 1-year term with L.K. McLean Associates to provide professional engineering services in connection with the mandated by NEL compliance reporting associated with the town's local solid waste management plan. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Authorize the supervisor to execute the following resolutions on a form approved by the town attorney. Amendment to the agreement with the Incorporated Village of Head of the Harbor dated August 3rd, 2020 to increase the yard waste acceptance fee to $85 per ton and to extend said agreement for a one-year term. Agreement with Pamela Kisandhan, nurse practitioner, to provide services to the town as the nurse practitioner on staff for Horizons Counseling and Education Center. And the last is an agreement with Cataldo Grasso Architects to provide professional architectural services for the ADA restroom renovations at the Town of Smithtown Public Safety Department located at 65 Maple Avenue. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Authorize the following amendment to the Uniform Traffic Code. No parking at Huber Place East from Middle Country Road North for 200 feet, and Huber Place West from Middle Country Road North for 150 feet. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
And personnel items 1 and 2, as described on the agenda. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. Concludes resolutions on the agenda. We will move, sitting as Board of Site Plan Review.
On site plan, we have the minutes of July 11th, and to conditionally approve the site plan for Cox Industry for the proposed regrading of the site, new entrance and landscaping, all described by Peter Hans of the Planning Department earlier. Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. That concludes site plan. Do we have speakers?
Yes. Mike? I won't pronounce your last name.
Rosado.
Oh,
Rosado.
Rosado. Thank you. Ari.
Before you start, Mr. Rosado, the public portion is subject to the rules of decorum you have on your speaker card. That is Town Code Section 76.7. Public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. The 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced. When you hear the tone, you know you have 1 minute to complete your statement. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be here a lot less than, up here a lot less than 3 minutes. I'm here due to a Resolution A1 in the matter of the application for site plan approval of Cox Industries. That property, which is also known as the former Schleider property, ever since that was purchased by Mr. Cox, it's been illegally used to lease out to multiple tenants. He has an illegal retaining wall on the property made of mafia blocks over 8 feet high, both against town code. So before site plan approval is given to this gentleman or to anybody, those infractions should be remedied. And so I hope the town looks into that and addresses those issues before site plan approval is given to this person. Another issue that's been going on in the industrial area that I'd like to address is the open burning. I think a number of you. Open burning?
Okay.
So there's been open burning going on in the industrial area on multiple sites. On one site in particular, I don't have, there's no address on this property because they don't have an approved site plan. They have no site plan whatsoever and never have for decades, like many of the properties down there. But one of the tenants, who is a landscaper, has been taking debris that he cuts down from numerous properties and burning it on the site. The fire marshal, the Smithtown fire marshal, was called numerous times. After the third time, somebody called me, who has property down there, has all his permits, runs a legal operation, because the ashes were landing on the vehicles that he stores on the property. I went on the property, and the guy was burning in approximately a 10 by 10 pit surrounded by mafia blocks. Is that 3 minutes?
You have a minute.
1 minute.
1 minute. So I went over to, I waited for the fire marshal to come, and he told me that he had issued a permit to this gentleman. I said, how could you possibly issue a permit to this guy? He's burning about less than 50 feet from the road, and the smoke is going over Town Line Road, and the ashes are falling on the vehicles that are being stored next door. I said, who would issue you a permit? and he told me the head fire marshal issued him a permit. When I approached the head fire marshal about it at his office on Maple Avenue, he denied giving that person a permit. So something obviously was going on. The DEC got involved, and they shrank the pit to 3 by 4. That's what the DEC allows. But the town code supersedes DEC rules, and it strictly says that no kindling is allowed on private property in the town of Smithtown. So I just hope that this board will address that issue so the open burning stops in the industrial area. There's no reason for that. Thank you.
Lozano, thank you. Town attorney has made notes referencing the site plan, and we are well aware of we are aware of that burning situation, and we're working on it with state DEC.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's it.
Okay, move to close the meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella?
Yes.
Okay, thank you everyone for attending. Be safe.